Hi guys, and welcome to DIY Hair School. On today's video, we are going to do heatless curls. These two heatless curls that I did this week here. I love heatless curls. They always give you a great option that is, I love heatless curls because way less damage than having to heat curl your hair. So heatless curls, I feel like you could do so much more often. You could even do them every day if you wanted to, as opposed to I would not curl my hair every single day with heat because you're going to incur a lot of heat damage on your hair, especially if you have really fine hair like we all do here at DIY Hair School. You will suffer if you use heat on your hair every day. So heatless curls are an amazing option. They also tend to last really well because I always do my heatless curls overnight, or you want to leave them in for at least several hours during the day. So they tend to last really long. So if you struggle with your hair lasting a long time with curls, this is probably a good option for you. The problem with not having a lot of hair is that a lot of the heatless curl methods that I have tried in the past just don't work great. They've all worked okay, but none of them have given me just amazing curls that I definitely want to have in my hair all the time. Like you see a lot of these girls on TikTok and Instagram get these amazing results, but they always have just thick, luscious, long hair. And I have tried some of these heatless curlers, and like I said, they're not terrible, but not something I'm going to bother doing every day because usually it just gets me a little bit of body, a little bit of flippiness, some waves. And it just doesn't work super well. Until now, I was scrolling through my TikTok For You page and I saw a girl use one of these. So this is a heatless curler. It's one of those satin tube ones, but it is so thin. It is like, honestly, it's like the size of my finger. It's so thin. And the other satin tubey ones that they have are like this. So when I'd wrap my hair around it, I don't even have it for a comparison because I gave it away because it just didn't work very well. It would just leave my hair like kind of wavy, and it was just like, wah-wah. And it just wasn't the look I was going for. But I saw this and I was like, this is gonna work well because it's so small that you're able to wrap your hair around it more and actually get a good curl or wave with it. Now, the only other method I've ever had much success with is I did do the two methods I'm going to do today, but with a bathrobe tie, and that did work fairly well. The curls just aren't as consistent with the bathrobe tie because if you pull a little tighter or you leave it a bit looser, they're going to be a bit different size because the bathrobe tie compresses when you tie it. And it's just harder to work with as well. This is a little bit more stable. It's not as flimsy as the bathrobe tie, so it is easier to use this. I have them linked in my Amazon store. I got this one for $15 Canadian, and I think they're about $10 American on Amazon.com. So super cheap for something that works so well. So let's do the first one. The first one I'm going to show you is what I think is the easier method. Both methods give you a different look of curl. So the first method, we're just going to be wrapping everything back and around the curler, and it's going to give you a look like this. This is when I did this to my hair. I blow dried my hair, washed my hair before bed. I blow dried it with just leave-in conditioner and with my heat protection. I didn't put any hold products, any volumizing mousse, anything like that. I just blow dried my hair. I put this in. I did wear a satin cap over top of it. I slept in it, took it out first thing in the morning, and that's how my hair looked. So let me show you how to do it. I like to do my heatless curls with a center part. I find it just easy. Even if I'm going to wear my hair with the middle side part the next day, I will just flip it the next day. And I do like to do my heatless curls always from a center part. So you're going to try to make it reasonably even. It doesn't have to be exact because, you know, your hair's not this long, so it doesn't matter if it's exactly the same length on both sides. And then put it in the middle of your head. You don't want to put it too far forward, or you're going to get less curls back here. And no matter what, the very center back of your head is not going to have a ton of curl when you use these methods. But if you place it more in the middle of your head, you're going to get lots of curl through this area, as opposed to if you push it forward, all of the curl and wave is mostly going to be around your face. And because we don't have super long hair, it doesn't turn out to be the best look. Whereas if you have really long hair, it's a really pretty look to have kind of like the flat with the curls on the ends and around your face, but it doesn't look so good on our hair. So we're going to put it in the middle of our head. This one did come with these two little clips. So whichever side I'm not working on, I take one of those clips and I just clip it there so it's not going to slide off my head. You could just use like a claw clip, or you could just balance it on your head, but it does run the risk of sliding around. You could also, if you're worried about it, clip the other side. I don't, because I feel like the clip gets in the way, but that's your call. So then I take the side that I'm working on. I start right here, and I try to take sections that are this way about an inch, half an inch to an inch wide. You don't want to take too much hair at once. I mean, you can, but the bigger chunks of hair is going to make bigger, looser curls. The smaller chunks of hair you take, you're going to get tighter curls. And this method is going to give you ringlets. So we're going to take our section, and I give it like a little finger comb to make sure all the hair is going in the same direction. Because if your hairs are going in different directions, if it's tangled, if it's knotted, if it's a mess when you wrap it, then it's going to be a mess when you take it out. So you want to make it nice and smooth, and we're going to wrap it backwards and around, and then you've got the hair at the front. And so then now we're just going to take another little small section and wrap it around. Now those two, because it's really just this hair, my hairline moves back once we get to here, I've just taken from the front. But now I'm going to scoop the hair from back further and pull it forward. So I took the hair all the way from back the middle of my head, and I scooped it forward and add it to that tail and wrap that guy around. And then again, I'm going to scoop back. And it doesn't have to be always from the exact same spot, but you just want to make sure that you're getting hair from that back area of your head. Now, once you get here to around your ear, you want to make sure you're not holding it forward. We're going to start holding it backwards because we want to angle it back and around our head, keeping it nice and tight to our head and following our head shape. If it's nice and snug against our head, it's way less likely that anything's going to fall out when we sleep, and it's going to create a more curl throughout more of our hair. So we want to try and keep pulling it snug to the head. So I'm going to scoop my finger back to the middle of my head, grab that chunk of hair with the tail, and add it. And then once we get down here, and I just kind of feel, yeah, that feels like that half can just go on that side. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you just continue that tail around the end until you get to the bottom. And then it comes with these two little hair ties here. I found these worked really well. They're really soft. They did not leave any marks on the ends of my hair. You could use a scrunchie if you're worried about it. So you just pull the tail through, tie, pull through. You want to make sure that you leave the ends sticking out straight. You don't let them fold up, otherwise you will get a kink on the end. I tie it 3 or 4 times, tight enough so it's not going to go anywhere, and then we'll do the other side. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take that first piece and wrap it around, grab the next piece, add it in, wrap it around, and then with this one, I'm going to start scooping back to the middle of my head and pulling that hair forward. So we've got lots of hair coming from the entire head. And then just wrapping it around the bottom. And then what I like to do, because they're very long and you're going to sleep in it, so I take it and I twist it back to really tighten those curls so you can feel it kind of tighten on your head. And same with this one. So I'm just going to hold this one on my teeth and push this one back. And while you can still feel that tension, I'm going to crisscross them across the back like that. Pull it up over my head, and I just tie it in a double knot at the top. And because you twisted it tight like that, I mean, this does not go anywhere. You could probably just sleep with it like this if you don't have a satin cap. I do have the satin caps that I wear in my Amazon storefront, and those just make it extra secure and just keep it from getting too frizzy. The one tip I have for wearing a satin cap is you do want to make sure that the satin cap is not sitting on your hair. You want to make sure that the band of the cap is on your forehead and below your hairline. If it's sitting on your hairline, it will compress it, and then that hair is not going to want to fall nicely in the morning. It's going to sit like you slapped the headband on. So if you do wear a satin cap, make sure it's on your skin, not on your hairline. So that is the curly method. That's the first one, and that is what I would consider the easier one. The next method we're going to do is a little trickier, and I did struggle with it a little bit. But once you get it down, it's a really pretty method and gives you a really beachy, wavy look as opposed to a curly look. So method number 2 is going to start the exact same way. We're going to plop it right on the middle of our head. We're going to clip whatever side we are not working on. And for this one, we are going to take hair from the front of the ribbon and hair from the back of the ribbon. Hair from the front is going to wrap back and around, just like we did, and hair from the back is going to wrap forward and around that way. And we're going to alternate. So it's kind of like braiding, with this being one of the strands of hair, but, and I'm going to clip this one on this side too, just to show you that you can, even though it's not my preference. But so let's start. So we'll start with the front piece and just go slow with this and try not to confuse what hair is supposed to be in what hand. Just think about each section individually, and then I find it's not so confusing. Don't worry about all 3 sections, and don't even think about it like a braid if you don't braid. Just think about, you wrap that hair around, and now we're going to hold it over here, and then we're going to take a chunk from back here, separate that out, and we're going to wrap it around and back. And now this tail, we're going to add a bit of hair. So we'll scoop, and we'll do what we did before, wrap it forward. And now we've got this guy. So we're going to take some hair from the back, and I will usually, you could have parted your hair if you wanted, but I don't really care if it's exactly the same on both sides. So I just scoop from sort of the center back of my head, add it into that tail, finger comb it, and then pull it all around the front and bring the tail back to the back. And then we're back with the front guy. And I will scoop and bring him around the front. And then for this one, I'll take some of that hair at the back of my head, add it to the tail, scoop it around the front. This one will feel like it's looking like a mess. And honestly, the first time I did it, it actually worked like easy. And then I did it again, and for some reason I couldn't get it again for a few times. And that's fine. You just got to keep trying, and then all of a sudden it gets easy again, because it really isn't that hard, but it is, you have to think of both hands at the same time, which can feel confusing. So then once you get to the bottom and you're not going to scoop any more hair, and you do still want to try and keep this one as much as possible close to your head, but I do find it harder. Now you do usually end up with a little bit of give here, but that's okay. So we just wrap this one forward and this one this way, and this is where it starts to become a little bit feeling more like a braid when you're doing it this way, because you're just wrapping each hair kind of opposite directions around the base. And once you get to the bottom, you just use your tie again. You tie that up, and then we'll do the other side. So then you can see I had the clip up there, and then you just have to be careful when you take the clip out that you don't pull out any of the hair. That's what I do sometimes. Sometimes I just rip it out and I end up messing up my hair and I have to redo it, and that's so frustrating because I just did it all and to have to take it out and do it again is really annoying. So we wrap this one. Oh, I always pick up little hairs with the ribbon. There we go. wrap it, and then we grab from the back and we bring it forward and wrap him around, and then grab some hair and wrap him back, and it's literally just the exact same thing but on the other side. You might find that you have one side that you can kind of manipulate your hands in the hair easier. For me, that's this side. I actually struggle more with this one on the other side for some reason, which you'd think that's usually my good side. So I don't know why with this method I struggle more on that side, but I do. So I find this side easier, but that's totally normal. All right, so that is all my hair. So then we're just gonna keep doing one strand at a time, just wrapping them in their respective directions. Once I get to the bottom, I kind of just do them at the same time because it comes really clear which one is supposed to go where once you get to the ends like that, at least for me. But if you do struggle, just wrapping each, just thinking of them individually, which direction they're supposed to go can help. So don't fret if this is complicated at first, because it definitely is totally normal if this feels hard at first. But don't give up just because you can't do it on the first try. Keep trying. And again, this one, you can't really like twist it to make it tight, but I still crisscross it at the back, pull it up, and I would double knot it, and then I would put my satin cap on. And this is the results you're gonna get from this look as compared to the more curly look, more beach wavy, really pretty still. Totally different look though, and it's nice having both options. And it's just nice that you can go to bed with clean hair, wake up in the morning, and you've just got fabulous waves or curls, and you didn't have to put in a ton of time and effort in the morning to do your hair, because if you're like me and you're not a morning person, curling your hair first thing in the morning is just not going to happen. If you do worry about waking up and your hair being greasy, simple solution: before you start wrapping your hair, put some dry shampoo in your roots. Any oil that your scalp produces overnight is gonna get absorbed. And honestly, sleeping with a satin cap really helps to reduce the amount of oil your scalp kind of soaks into your hair anyways. So with those two things, I find that I don't wake up with oily hair, even though my hair is super fine and isn't like the greatest on day 2, but it's not really fully day 2 because you wash your hair right before, if you wash your hair right before bed, which is what I do when I do these. I don't wash it in the morning. I wash it right before bed, blow dry it, and then wrap my hair right away. And I find that when I wake up in the morning, my hair does not look dirty. I hope that helps. I hope you give these two methods a try, and you can do both of these with the regular sized heat roller or heatless roller as well. But for fine hair, especially if it's not long, you know, my hair's not super short, but it is not long. This thin one is life-changing. So grab yourself one of these because it makes the whole process so much easier. There's not a ton of products that I see and then I buy and then I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And this is one of those. So check that out. I know someone's going to comment. I know there's that new method where people do it like a unicorn down the top of their head. I have not tried that yet. I'm going to experiment with it, and I will make a separate video for that one because I don't have enough experience with that one yet to give you good advice there. So I'm going to try that one out in the next week or so and let you guys know how it goes and make a video for that. And maybe we'll try it out together, and that could be fun. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my content, because I do post 3 times a week, and I post every day on my shorts, my Instagram, and my TikTok. Bye, guys.